Welcome, this is Marianne Cusell, and in today's video, I want to talk about a really delicate subject. And it's the first point of the creation in this life, if you look at your first 10 years, of actually what happened in your psyche, in your vibration, in your heart, in your body. Because as little ones, we didn't have the intellect to reason. We didn't have the intellect to understand. We just felt deeply. And this is the connection between what happens in the nervous system and goes into the mind that builds these ideas of ourselves, these self-impression, this self-projection, completely with all the other projections that go on. You know, what your mother was projecting, what your father was projecting, your teachers, your friendships, even your first intimate relationship. What was that showing you? And the interesting piece in all of this is the first step of any healing process is acknowledgement. And when we don't acknowledge what actually happened, and we don't have a guidance system to take us to these places safely, we just keep ignoring, we keep them stuck down, we keep reaching for relief in some way, we keep smoking, drinking, taking drugs, binge eating, or we even keep trying to get the power trip. The ego system becomes so strong that we want to get ourselves to a level so that we think we matter, or we think we're enough. And this can be all on automatic pilot. So in this self-discovery video, what I want you to do is understand the first thing of acknowledgement. What happened to you when you were a vulnerable sponge, like beautiful soul in this physical body was not your fault. That is number one to acknowledge. And then to consider the outcome of what was going on for your parents, your teachers, your caregivers, what was going on for them that they were projecting upon you, you know, and often if we look at it in the unconscious light, it was not their fault, right? And then what was going on for their parents? Now, here's the golden nugget. Over the years, we have evolved in consciousness. There weren't videos like this. There wasn't technology. There wasn't this awareness process, emotional intelligence. We didn't understand energy back then, but now we do, right? And so the reality is that happened. Now what? So how can I live my full expression where you can start owning it, owning yourself, belonging to yourself? Maya Angelou always said, you belong nowhere but here. And when we have that empowerment and we have that inspiration, that part of spirit, that you part, that self, that core self that belongs to you and nobody can take it away. And when we start looking at that, and we start doing the self-inquiry, the self-acknowledgement, the self-worth, building your emotional bank, reparenting, understanding, healing, and accepting you for you, and building up your inner strength and your inner inspiration so that you can fully feel confident in your skin, live your full expression, release addictive identities. This is when you start manifesting the life you truly want. But first, we have to understand what happened. And when we can acknowledge that in our own safe environment and, you know, do a test and things like that, and just come to some understanding, that will give you the willingness to heal, the willingness to want to clean this stuff up, the willingness to say, actually, it's time. Because the other question is, what's it going to take? Is it going to take you to grow up lonely? Is it going to take for you to get a disorder in the body? What's it going to take for you to stop and know how beautiful you are, how important you are, that your life matters so much that you can create anything that's possible for you. So in order for us to attract these beautiful outcomes in our life, we have to be operating at a certain frequency. And you can't create love from I'm unlovable. You can't create health from I'm unhealthy. You can't create career prospects from I'm not worth it. And you can't create joy from self-loathing. So check out the links below. I've put a couple of really important tests for you to do for yourself that are free. And the first one I want you to fill out so you can acknowledge what happened. Now, in this test, if you get a score that's anything over 4 or 5, or anything that's a 1, 2, 3, or 5, there's the work, right? These are the causes of you having a nervous system the way it is today. These are the causes. And what we do with that information is we then go to the next test, which is the belief profile. So you can see what beliefs were formed based on what happened to you. Now, this information is so invaluable so that you can become your best self, the one that is already in there, the one that's already present, available, wanting to create the magnificent life you deserve. So check out the links, and if you want to do any courses with me, they're all coming up real soon. So do these tests first so you know what's right for you. Much love to you.